What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Javien University. Today we got a special guest in the building. We got a Florida State Seminole, 8-year NFL vet, spent most of his career with the Denver Broncos, transitioned to coaching as coach for the Detroit Lions, Southern Illinois, and most recently was the defensive coordinator in the XFL for the Orlando Guardians. Welcome to the show, my boy, Tony Carter.
Hey, man, I appreciate you.
Hey,
glad to be here, man. This is awesome. I'm probably more excited than you, bro.
You think so?
Oh, I know so. I know so.
Appreciate you for coming, man. You always, when I came out for the draft, when I was training at Florida, at Tom Shaw, that's where we met originally. Shoot, you took me under your wing, man, from the beginning. And I've always been grateful and appreciative for everything, man. So appreciate you. This means a lot to me. So,
yes, sir. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
You always been one of the guys I looked up to. So whether you know it or not, it's always some, give and take there.
Yeah, that's love, man. So let's take it back. So you grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, Duval. What was your path like leading up to playing like high school football and on your process before going to college?
Okay, well, I actually was born in Tallahassee. A lot of people don't know that.
Really?
Yeah, I was born in Tallahassee. My dad played basketball at Florida State.
Okay.
Back in the 80s. So I was born in Tallahassee when he was a sophomore in college. Wow. And we had the same name. So a lot of people know me back they knew my dad first. Mm-hmm. So Florida State's always been in my bloodline, but so I never remember living in Tallahassee. So growing up in Jacksonville, my mom, my dad, they were never together. I never saw them together. So I lived with my grandmother and my mother a lot. So I was back and forth between my grandmother and my mother. Mom, single parent mother, 3 boys. I'm the middle of my brothers. So, she was trying to survive pretty much. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it was more stable to live with my grandmother than my mother sometimes, and a little bit back and forth. So my grandmother and my mother pretty much raised me along with the rest of my family. Yeah. So we moved around a lot. My older brother, he's 5 years older than me. He actually moved to Tallahassee when he got to high school, middle school, late middle school, high school. Mm. And so me and my younger brother, who are a year apart, we lived together and grew up the most of our time together. But sports-wise, I always played everything, ran track, football, basketball, played baseball growing up. So honestly, football was probably like sport I liked the least because of the contact. You know what I mean? I was small, so I didn't want to get hit. Yeah. But I was always fast, and the rules in our house was you had to do something year round, or you had to go to like tutor in a study hall.
You want to try to do that?
And I'm like, nah, I ain't trying to do that. So, let me just keep playing sports year round. Yeah. But always a real, for the most part, a good kid, likable, did pretty good in school for the most part. Talked a lot, was talkative. So my personality went from when I was younger, I talked a lot, probably kind of hyper. And then as I got to like a teenager, I slowed all the way down and got quiet, laid back, more so.
Why do you think that happened?
Probably because when you're younger, you don't really have identity. So you just try to, I was trying to, fit in and just be, seen in any way possible. Yeah. So it was like, whether that's talking, dancing, singing, me and my brothers, we always like danced and sung in front of our families. Yeah. We thought we were the boys, the men group. Just stuff like that. So once I got to like middle school, I kind of like knew what I wanted to do for my future and kind of did a lot of research and studying that.
Really?
That's crazy. So at an early age, I kind of knew like, okay, I want to go to college. I didn't know how I was going to get to college, but that was my goal. So I'm 37 now, so I'm a little bit older than you, but the newspaper was big back when I was growing up. And I used to read the newspaper all the time. So I used to do research on high school basketball players, track players, baseball players, football players, just to like try to see, okay, I got to do this to go to college.
Right.
I got to have this GPA because they put the players' GPA, you know, they put their GPA, their test score, and they put their, you know, achievements in the sport. And then they say what school they're going to. So I'm like, okay, cool. I got to do these things to get there.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it was like I was too scared to tell people, but I used to keep the newspaper clippings. And I'm like, when I get to high school, I'm going to make sure that my name is here. And they, you know, saying I'm going to do this and do that. So, you know, I moved around a lot, you know, growing up. And I had a middle school track coach who actually, Coach Kelly at Twin Lakes Middle School. He was my geography teacher.
Okay.
And I remember going there in like 6th or 7th grade. And the first day of class, I got kicked out.
What you did?
Trying to be a class clown.
Trying to be a class clown, yeah.
Like I tried to make like a funny joke. You big black dude. So he kind of intimidated me. Like, get out. And I'm like, dang. But then he told me why he kicked me out. He talked to me like a man and was like, look, you can't do that. You know, whatever the case may be. And then he ended up being a coach on the team because I was still playing Pop Warner in 6th grade. So in 7th grade, I played middle school sports because you couldn't play in 6th grade back in the day. And so he ended up being my coach, and he was been a mentor to me. Even to this day, we still talk.
What?
And so Coach Kelly, or Mark Kelly is his name, he still teaches at the middle school, still coaches track and basketball there. And when I got out of middle school, I went to Inglewood High School in 9th grade. And so I saw that we were 0-10 in football, and I was playing varsity. I was getting tore up. Man.
Wait, you were playing varsity at what grade?
9th grade.
Okay, 9th grade.
9th grade, I was playing varsity, basketball, football, and track in 9th grade.
Nah, that's live, though,
And
really.
so,
Like,
yeah, because all my cousins are a little bit older, so.
yeah.
But I was small. I mean, I was getting drugged. So then I was like, you know what? I called Coach Kelly. I'm like, man, I need to go somewhere where guys are going to like big schools or like, you know, they taking education a little bit more serious, you know, just because I'm like, I feel like I can't reach my goals here.
Yeah.
And then I messed up because I was hanging out with my older buddies, older cousins, older people. So in 9th grade, I thought I was like a senior. I thought I was grown. I was getting girls now.
Yeah.
You know, doing all the things that I probably shouldn't have been doing in 9th grade, but I was like, well, I'm playing varsity sports. My homeboys got cars, so I don't even ride the bus. I ride to school with them in the morning.
Oh, yeah. You live
So I was
life.
hanging. Now, I didn't drink or nothing like that or anything like that, but I did have a curfew.
Yeah.
My grandma, she didn't care what time I came home or whatever, as long as my schoolwork was done. So probably after my first semester or second semester, basketball season was about to start. And I played varsity football. Basketball season is starting, and the grades come out during basketball season. So my grades came. I was ineligible. Wow. I didn't do no work. So it's 9th grade, bro. After my first semester of school, I'm ineligible to play basketball. So my grandma, this is the first time I ever heard her curse.
What?
She went off on me.
Yeah, especially if that was her only rule, pretty much. Like,
Right.
I'm giving you this.
She let me
freedom.
have girls in the house, everything.
And it's you had one job.
One job.
You had one job.
and I was I was ineligible. So it came back was like, oh, he's ineligible to play. Fast forward, they changed my grade.
What you mean they changed your grade?
They changed my grade.
Like, is it
Like
like?
D to a C. So
Okay.
they changed. So what happened was, I came home, I found out I was ineligible. I cried like a baby. That's my first time going through like some real adversity. And as far as schoolwork and as far as like letting my mother and my grandmother down. So I felt horrible. So she went off on me, and I couldn't believe it. I felt like I just let her down. And I'm like, man, all this stuff I've been talking about is probably not going to happen. I'm in 9th grade.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like my life is over. Just because I'm like, I'm going down a,
Going down a slippery slope.
Right. Not doing nothing wrong, but just not doing the right things to where I need to be.
And you let your people down.
So I'm in Inglewood High School, and so the guidance counselor or whoever it was, they somehow found a way I could do some makeup work to get my grade from a D to a C. So now I was eligible to play basketball.
Yeah.
Eligible the rest of the year. But at that point, I said, I need a new environment. So I transferred my 10th grade year to Mandarin High School, and that's how I ended up,
over there.
Ended Mandarin High School, yep.
Okay, so I ain't gonna lie, I'm really seeing like a lot of similarities. Like I really can relate to everything you just said, bro, because I grew up, my entire family raised me, like my aunties, I lived with my grandma, like my mom. And one of the things that I wish that I did, that you did, is that you knew where you wanted to go early. And even though I may have knew that I wanted to go play football or I wanted to do this, I didn't really know how to get there. I didn't know how to voice that. Like, it was just like, all right, I see these guys getting recruited. I'm seeing the Sports Illustrated, but it's like, how do I get there?
Right.
You knew at a young age, like, clipping up what their GPA was, all that,
Right.
and you had a vision. Like, so that's really one thing that stuck out to me. One thing, okay, so you transferred to Mandarin. What happens there?
So when I first get there, it's crazy. I get there first day of like normal school. So I couldn't go to like anything in the summer with the teams or anything like that because I'm transferring. So it's like I wasn't officially at the school yet. So when the first day I get there, I go, they have like, they have tryouts for the football team, but really it's not tryouts because they already had their guys. They've been, for the whole summer. So I'm thinking like, okay, I played varsity in 9th grade. I'm going to come in here and play varsity, and it's going to be, like it was before. I was starting as a 9th grader. I was playing running back and DB in 9th grade.
Okay.
And I was getting tore up in 9th grade. So then I go to 10th grade, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to a big school, which was 6A, was the highest school in Florida back when I was there. So it was a big 6A school, and they had some really good players who get recruited by some, high Division I schools. So I go there, and the first day I go to the little, like, trials. And that really trials. We just out there running sprints. They already got their guys.
Yeah.
I didn't make the team. I'm talking about they make JV.
But I know you said they got their guys, but
they looked at me and they said, this little skinny little kid, and I didn't make the team. So I go home. I go home like, it's like a 2-day deal. So I go home, my grandma like, what you doing home?
right.
And I'm like, I ain't make the team. Now I've been a baller from Pop Warner all the way up in every sport.
Wow.
Like one of the better players, you know what I mean? And she like, what? So she knew the principal there. Principal was the dude named Dr. Threadcraft, older black guy. And Coach Kelly introduced me to him, which is my middle school coach. He brought me over there. And my grandmother and Dr. Threadcraft, both older, so they kind of like spoke the same language. So then she called Dr. Threadcraft and was like,
What's up?
like what's going on kind of thing. And so Dr. Threadcraft hit the football coach up on varsity, which was Coach Bruno was our coach. And he hit Bruno up and was like, hey, we got a kid, Tony Carter, who was a starter at Inglewood High School his freshman year. He's here now. He didn't, like, they basically like let him go.
Yeah.
And so I'm in class one day, and Coach Bruno came in, got me out of class, and was like, hey, like, what's your name, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Tony Carter from Inglewood. And he's like, you him?
What?
And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I had like 700 yards rushing last year
Yeah.
at Inglewood.
He don't
and I
even
had
know
like
what's in front of him.
2 interceptions as a freshman. And he's like, really? So he's like, all right, forget all that. Come to, you come to varsity. Now I wore number 4 my freshman year in high school at this other school.
They gave you some crazy.
Bro, they gave me, I had number 26 on.
Oh, that ain't too bad.
That ain't too bad.
That ain't photo. That ain't photo.
Bro, I went from a single digit to 26, and I was like, what? And then, so I had number 26 on. I'm in 10th grade. Bro, I didn't play until like the 6th game of the season. We only played like 9 games. I didn't play till like the 4th, probably like the 4th or 5th game maybe. So we had some guys who, and it was no way I was getting on offense.
Yeah.
Our quarterback was a good player. We had a running back who was a D1. We had all these older guys that had been in the system for a while. And so I'm like, dang, I can't get no tick. Like nothing, and I didn't know these dudes or nothing.
Yeah.
So it was like I'm on the other side of town. So where I lived was like, urban kind of community. This school was like on the other side. They got 2-parent households.
Oh,
like now all the African American guys that played on the team were like from different sides of town. It's a magnet school.
Okay.
So they were from all over, but it was still different because it was just a whole different experience, like how they did things.
Yeah.
So I get there, and I'm like, so bro, really, I was like on the scout team. Like I'm talking about, we had a running back that was 235, 240 in high school. Like he recruited by Florida. And I remember one day in practice, he came. I'm playing safety on the scout team. He tried to run me over, and I went low and hit him, and I flipped him. Well, I thought I flipped him. I probably didn't flip him. Yeah. But it was a good, I made the play, and everybody got up and was like, whoa, like, oh my God.
Put him in.
So they like, but I remember like it was yesterday, bro, my head was hurting so bad.
Yeah.
I was ready to quit. I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
But that created like that extra dog and that hunger. So when I got in there, we were playing somebody, I can't remember who it was, but one of the corners got hurt. So then they threw me in there. I got to pick within like the first 10 plays of me playing, because they come after you. You know what I mean? As soon as you get in there, I got to pick within like the first 10 plays.
And you got 26.
And after that, it was like, and I had 26. I'm like, oh.
You got 26.
I'm like, man. So I get a pick within like the first 10 plays of me being out there. After that, they like, we might well leave him out here. They put me at punt return. They gave me a couple of snaps here. We ended up making the playoffs, but I still wasn't like, I only played defense. You know what I mean? So that happened in 10th grade. So then after that, basketball season comes. So I was probably kind of known for basketball.
Yeah.
I was always like short.
Yeah.
But I was probably more advanced in basketball just because I was super athletic. I was quick, fast. In basketball, you can kind of I can get like 3-4 steals a game, averaging 10 points or whatever. Yeah. So basketball, I played varsity. Then track, I made it to the state championship in 10th grade. So after that, it was like, okay, he deserved to be here. So that's how that happened in 10th grade.
So you transfer to this new school, and they don't even recognize you.
Yeah.
Because you said you was too small. Like, what was your height? Like, how tall was you? Like, how much was you weighing at the time?
I probably had to be 130 something.
130 something?
Yeah, I probably had to be 130 something, maybe 140. I had to be, I'm about 5'9.5", maybe 5'10" now. So I had to be 5'7".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe.
Okay.
But I had long arms, and one thing that they recognize is because I grew up playing baseball, and like I had good ball skills. So every time we would do ball drills in practice, half the dudes couldn't really catch. Like, I didn't wear gloves in high school. I didn't wear gloves till my senior year till I started getting recruited, and they started giving me gloves. Before that, I didn't wear no gloves. I used to spit on my hands, and I could catch everything.
Yeah, I didn't wear gloves in high school either, though.
You know what I mean? So it's like ball skills came natural. So anytime we would do something where ball was involved, it was real natural. Yeah. So they probably cut me because during that little trial thing, we didn't do nothing with the ball. Right. We just out there running around doing cone drills. They not paying nobody. They ain't. There's 100 kids out there, and they ain't looking at. They just looking at who they already had. Yeah. So that didn't really bother me, honestly, because I had that inner confidence anyway. And plus, I was a kid from the other side of the town in the hood, so I didn't really respect these dudes over here anyway. Yeah. Like, once I get out here, I already know.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
But
what I got from that story is, you go from starting and then you transfer to a new school and you're not playing. And then you probably made a statement play with the tackle that got everybody's attention, but you was also about to quit. Now imagine if you would have quit and we probably wouldn't even be talking right here to this day,
But
right now.
you know the crazy thing is, in your mind, you say you're gonna quit just because how it felt physically.
Exactly.
But I knew I wasn't gonna quit. I said I was gonna quit Pop Warner when I was 8, when I was 9, when I was 10. That's the thing you do when you're young and you're immature. You think like, if something don't go well or if something gets hard, okay, let me try something else or let me quit.
Yeah.
So that's never been in my mind. Like how I was raised, my mother, my grandmother, like if we start something, we finish it.
Got to.
So, and they not going for that quitting stuff. So I remember when I had to be like, I started playing when I was 7, tackle sports. I played T-ball when I was 4, and I started playing football when I was 7. Probably like when I was 10, I was pretty good. But boy, we played one team and I was getting whopped. I'm talking about, I'm getting tore about playing quarterback.
Yeah.
And so in the middle of the game, I like took myself out.
What?
Took myself out.
So what's up? Hey.
I'm talking about, I'm tapping out. I don't want no more. I'm tapping out. So I remember my mom came to the gate. She probably remember that. My mom came to the gate and said,
What if you don't get your?
"Are you hurt?" And I looked at her with the lion face, and she said, "Get your ass back out there." And I was like, okay, got out there. And it's never as bad as it seems.
It's never bad as
It's
it
never
seems.
bad as it seems. So I was never able to get away with the thoughts that I had in my mind being like an immature kid.
Yeah.
Just because of, either your coaches, like even your coaches will let you be like, okay, don't worry about it. But I'm like, by the time I got to that age to where I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. Well, heck, I can't do that by coming up with these excuses. So it didn't matter how hard it was. I'm like, man, I got to go and keep going. So I knew, even though I wasn't playing that much in 10th grade, I was like, my time is coming. I just got to keep developing.
There you go.
And what happens is, and this is just transforming in today, people think that you got to be good when you 13, 14. No, you need to be good when you 17, 18.
Yeah.
Because that's when you start going to college. Even if you're not good then, you still got time if you get a chance to go to college. So I was always thinking like, okay, all these newspaper articles I read, they didn't say nothing about these dudes' sophomore highlights or they sophomore whatever.
Yeah.
They talking about their junior and their senior year stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I was just saying, okay, let me just be patient.
Right. And really, to piggyback off what you just said, just like I seen this video about Nick Saban, he was like, these scouts ain't calling me asking about what you did your freshman year.
Correct.
They like, what kind of player did you develop into?
Correct.
And it goes along with exactly what you just said. Like, you do got to be good when you're 17, 18, but sometimes it might not just be your time to play your freshman year in college.
Correct.
And everybody wants to play right away now.
Correct.
So, like, you got time to develop. Like, obviously, you want to be the best version of yourself, man. But sometimes you just got to, take your time to develop. So, so you end up making a name for yourself, and you go to state. What did you run? What did you run in track?
I ran hurdles, bro. I ran hurdles from middle school through high school. So hurdles track was probably my best sport. I had the second fastest time in the country coming out of high school. Wow. Hurdles. I ran a 13-1 in hurdles in high school. I was a really good hurdler. But I was a long strider. So I never really looked fast. But
Covering ground.
So I was always a long strider, and I didn't develop into like speed. I was fast, but in middle school I ran the 800. I ran the 800 and the 400 in hurdles. I ran the 110 hurdles, the 400 and the 800. So I didn't even run I wasn't fast enough to be on the 4x1. Well, I was, but I had to run the other events. So I was always a long strider for my size.
Yeah.
Like I run the 800 in middle school. I wanted to sit in the 800 my 7th and my 8th grade year in the 800.
Jeez.
So, running was like,
That was your thing.
that was my thing.
Yeah.
It was second nature to me. So, that's kind of what I always grew up, and how I was taught was just from an early age is to be the best athlete.
Yeah.
And then once you get to, 11th, 12th grade, then you'll figure out what's going to stick.
Yeah.
So I didn't really approach anything. What I didn't know was I was creating a competitive mindset.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Right.
This is just what I do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So then when I got around other kids that didn't really have that mindset, I'm like,
You standing out.
oh, this is way different. Like even guys who way bigger, way more talented.
Yeah.
Oh, he's scared.
Yeah.
No, he soft.
Mm-hmm.
So in your mind, you put it in your mind, and that's when you go into,
Yeah.
domination mode, like, or whatever you want to say.
Nah, for sure. So when it came to you playing football, when did you start getting recruited, and when did your offer start coming in?
My junior year, so the summer going into my junior year, one thing about it, I had a high school coach, Richard Brunowski, we call him Bruno. This dude, his goal was to get all his kids in college. Mm-hmm. And whether we won or lost, his goal was to push kids to get to college. And that's why I went to that school. I never even met him, but I saw him on TV, and he's talking about kids getting to school. I saw in the newspaper how he would talk about his players and like trying to get them in school. So I'm like, man, I want to go over here.
Yeah.
That's why I went to that school. And he never even knew that I knew that. And I'm like, he may not like me. I don't know if he gonna ride with me or whatever, but I'm gonna make sure. So I made sure that I was like, didn't say nothing. That's when I kind of matured into like quiet. And the reason I had to be quiet, because these guys at this school, they weren't my friends. I didn't grow up with none of these dudes. So I don't even know nobody over there. They don't know me. So it's like, either you just fall back and just chill and, keep your cool and be quiet, or you come in here and you try to fit in like I did when I was younger in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So how I got recruited, he used to take us to like all these camps and stuff. He used to have camps at the school. So he had a camp at the school where it was like a combine type thing. And they had like these little scouting services, people who were there. And all the schools around town came to the camp. And I ran the fastest 40 time. Okay. So this was going into right before the summertime of what season about to start my junior year. And I ran the fastest 40 time. We ran the track, and I'm in track season. Yeah. I'm ready to roll anyway. Mm-hmm. So I ran the fastest 40 there. I ran like a 4.3 something. Okay. So they like, dang. So all my boys at other schools, they knew about me because I grew up playing Pop Warner against them on the north side of town. Mm-hmm. So, but it's like, okay. So then my coach was like, dang, he didn't even know. Yeah. So I ran the fastest 40 time, and then we went to some other like camps and clinics, and we had no trainers. So me and my friends, bro, in the summertime, we used to go, obviously we had workouts, so whatever we had practice at school, we had basketball practice, whatever practice we had, we did that, but we used to always go and work out on our own. So we go to the field, we racing. Yeah. We go to the field, we doing one-on-one. We did one-on-ones, bro, like, until it got dark. Competing. Like, just competing. Now, it's fun for us. All of us had the same dream, the same goal, same vision. We go to the gym, we hooping all night long. Yeah. So, like, it was a group of us, and we went to different schools, too. But we all, like, want to do the same thing. Maybe a guy from this side of town, that side of town. We like, hey, man, we meet up at such and such park at 9 o'clock Saturday morning. Yeah. And dudes just show up. And no matter who you are, whatever, like we trying to get work in. Yeah. And we don't have nobody's guiding us. We're just trying to like, this is what we do. We do the same drill we did at your practice. What y'all coach do at y'all practice? Or we do this. Okay, but let's do this today. Okay. Or now we're gonna do one-on-ones. Or now we're gonna run routes. There was no 7-on-7, none of that stuff going on. So we sharpened our tools. And then once I got to my junior year, I felt very like confident. I'm like, okay, now I'm playing offense again. I'm playing defense. I'm back to where I was, prior to. Yeah. So my junior year, I was like, I'm ready to roll. Mm-hmm. I got 11 picks. I'm like, I'm trying to break the school record in pick. I got 11 picks my junior year. We're balling. Like, anything, I'm going to get it. Yeah. Anything. I'm like, cause I'm finally playing with people my age. Cause I've been playing 9th grade, 10th grade. Everybody been bigger than me, older than me. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like, I'm like even kind of.
Yeah.
So 11 picks my junior year, probably had like 10 touchdowns, playing receiver.
Yeah.
Like I'm playing everything, kick
Yeah.
return, punt return, everything. Like,
Yeah.
so I'll go from not being on the map at all. After my first game, we played a team, Rains High School. They were a good high school. We played them my first game, and I'm playing everywhere. Florida State came to, they offered me right after the game.
What?
After the game. So after the game, they had 2 good receivers on the other team. I forgot. They were older than me though. So I went against both of them, locked them down, had an interception. And the play that got me the scholarship was I ran a dude down. It was the first play on my highlight.
Effort play.
So I was on the opposite side of the field. He was gone. Hawked him down, caught him at the 1. It looked like one of them, like them Powerade commercials. Like they used to have them Power commercials where you see people zooming.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
So they offered me right after the game. Odell.
What?
Odell was at the game.
He's a legend.
And Coach Odell Hagan. So they offered me right after the game, and then once they offered me, everybody else just offered.
Yeah.
So I went from being not even talked about to the number 19 player in the country, just like that. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, shoot, 11 picks, 10 touchdowns, bro. And then, they seeing the effort plays, bro. Like, that's, that's definitely one way to get it done. So, did you commit to Florida State because they were the first people to offer you?
No. Well, somebody else probably offered me, but I don't think my coach actually told me because he knew I wanted to go to Florida State.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Back then, they wasn't talking to you like that. They talking to the coaches.
Yeah.
And the offer was not like you post on social media, they send you the official offer. You don't really know if you got an offer or not.
Right.
So I just go off of what my coach told me.
Okay.
He like, what school you want to go to? I'm like, do I have a choice or do I not have a choice? He was like, whatever school you want to go to.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, Florida State, Miami, Tennessee. I like North Carolina basketball growing up. So I'm like, I want to go to visit North Carolina.
Yeah.
And Southern Cal was legit back when I was in school, Pete Carroll era. So I like Southern Cal. I had never been to California. So that's pretty much. After that, now, honestly, I was kind of like, a lot of SEC schools didn't recruit me. And I think it was more like size thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, Georgia, I like Georgia.
Yeah.
They ain't offer me. My cousin went there the following year. I'm like, how the hell? But he was bigger than me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Nick Saban was at LSU.
Okay.
LSU, I don't think they offered me. Oregon offered me. Oregon was, Oregon, that's when they had the unis, and that's the first,
Yeah.
So people was going to Oregon back.
Just because of that.
Yes, sir. So I Oregon, but I didn't go. They didn't recruit me heavy. So my high school coach had a lot of say-so in there. And then, it's a lot different from parents being more involved now. More so back then it was like your high school coach. So
Yeah.
that's how I ended up. I always knew I was going to Florida State. I just didn't, I just said other things just to not say it. And then Coach Bowden came to my house. I was like, it's over.
Yeah. How was that when Coach Bowden came? What was that like?
Well, first he came to my school like 3 times. So he used to always come to Jacksonville. That's right up the road. So he came to my school. Every time he come to my school, like I barely got a chance to talk to him because all the teachers and everybody was there talking to him and and then sometimes he couldn't talk to you. So I just gave him a wave because of the period.
Yeah.
So then he actually came to my house, him and Mickey Andrews.
Okay.
Coach Andrews, my favorite coach of all time.
What?
Yeah, by far. So him and Coach Andrews came to my house on a home visit, and I'm sitting there with my mom and my grandma and my brother, and my mom made some food, and we just chopping it up. And so they came in, was like, yeah, you might can come and help out on special teams, So it was like, I didn't care what they were saying.
Right.
I'm like, are y'all telling me I'm gonna be there? Like, do I have a chance to come? So I still had that, that underdog mentality. Like, man, this is crazy. So all my older friends or my cousins who I grew up with, they didn't even know that I was getting all this attention.
Yeah.
Because they were either off in college or, out of the loop a little bit. And all of a sudden it's like, what?
Like Tony
from the neighborhood.
That's how
a lot of people didn't even know I played football. They just knew me for basketball and track.
Yeah.
So then I go to this other school across town. They like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He played football. Right. so it was like surreal. Even my older brother, because my older brother, he went to the junior college in Jacksonville. He was on a basketball scholarship, so he was playing basketball. So I used to be with my older brother all the time. So I would go work out at, it was called FCCJ. So I used to go there all the time and practice with their basketball team, work out with the basketball team, run 8 miles on the beach with them. And I was beating all of them, and I'm in high school.
Nice.
So I was always around older people a lot. And so I think that having an older brother, that's kind of how I knew what and what not to do. Like my older brother told me to transfer. My older brother told me, don't worry about it. You just got to be good when you're a junior year.
Yeah.
My older brother told me, hey, you know, go work out with your friends.
Yeah.
When you go to practice, do a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Like if they run the 100 yards, you run 110 and still beat them.
Yeah.
Like, so he kind of put me on game, and I used to be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But I understood why, because I got to see him and see, you know, like what the standard was for like whatever. And he always wanted me to not do what he did. He like, bro, you don't want to go to JUCO.
Do better.
Bro, you can go here. You can do this.
Yeah.
Now, even when I told him, I said, yeah, Miami offered, Florida State offered, Tennessee. He like, what? He was like, huh? I said, yeah. And he went to Lincoln High School in Tallahassee.
I know about
you know,
Lincoln.
so Lincoln had a whole bunch of guys, and he like, that's how it was at the school he went to.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
Nah, definitely shout out to your brother, man, and shout out to your coach for, you know, just having people to guide you and really
Correct.
be in your corner.
Now, one thing I will say is, a lot of these guys and a lot of these people who were in the same, you know, opportunity as me, they had the same opportunities, and some of them were more talented, but they didn't listen, or they don't listen, or they still don't. Some people still don't listen. Mm-hmm. And I have a mentor of mine who's like an older brother to me. His name is Duran Wiley. Wiley was a legendary coach in Jacksonville. He coached at Reigns, won a whole lot of state championships there. He probably like 10 years older than me, if that. But he like my big brother to me. And meeting him, I met him my junior year in high school. Mm-hmm. He was just now starting to coach high school football, but he didn't even coach me. He coached at Reigns. But we lived in the same neighborhood. So he told me all along, like every move, when you go to college, don't room with somebody that plays the same position as you. All right, you're going to find out who a real dude is when you get money and women involved. You're going to find out who your homeboy is once it's time to do the right thing or the wrong thing. Like, all these little things he's telling me in my ear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I actually, like, applied them. He told me the same thing I told you. You ain't going to feel like a man till you buy a house.
Yeah.
I didn't say it, but
nah,
indirectly,
I'm with you, yeah.
you know. So I had a lot of these people who were not necessarily like people that a lot of folks will say, I'm not going to listen to him. I will listen or won't listen. You know, you take a piece from here, take a piece from there. And then once you start to apply it in your decisions, then that helps you, like, you look back and say, I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. No, that's wisdom right there, man. So you end up going to Florida State. What was your experience like when you got there? Like getting on campus, getting on the football team, and you know going to your freshman year?
First of all, they did not like me when I first got there.
Who?
I don't think nobody did. I showed up, they like, oh, this dude 5'9", 140 pounds. He's supposed to be the top corner in the country coming out. I was first team USA Today coming out of high school. I was the number 1 or 2 corner in the country coming out. But they ain't like me. We recruited all these other guys who were 6'1", you know. But they looked at me like, nah.
Saying, yeah.
And then my shoulder was messed up coming into college. I had to have shoulder surgery. My first year, I already knew I knew it was red shirting because I had to get shoulder surgery. My shoulder was hurt coming out of high school. So Man, they ain't give me no love, bro.
Yeah, they like you hurt and you 5'9", 140. Like, come on,
It was
bro.
bad. It was bad. So I was just like, of course. You call him back. One of my best friends, he went to Georgia Tech. My other buddy, he ended up going to South Carolina. We on the same high school team. Them boys playing their freshman year. He the punt returner at Georgia Tech. He a slot receiver.
I gotta get like, yo.
I'm like, hey. So the boys calling me like, he calling me from Atlanta. I'm going down there, and they showing me love. I'm like,
I need this, bro.
I said, bro, it's a struggle. I'm trying to just make it to class on time. I got to get this shoulder surgery, so I got to go to rehab.
Yeah.
I can't lift weights. I can't do nothing. The coach is looking at me like, why recruit you? When I first got there, they told me they was going to give me number 4. They gave me number 29. Gave number 4. This is the craziest thing, bro. They gave number 4 to another freshman who played receiver from California, Kenny O'Neal, and they told me they was going to give me number 4.
Oh yeah, they baited you.
They got me. So I was like, oh,
baby.
hell no. But I had already been through that in 10th grade.
You know what I was about to say? I was about to really say, bro, I'm really seeing some repeated patterns. Bro.
Same thing, bro.
Everything prepared you to get what happened at Florida State, bro. Like,
The same exact thing.
you know, the coach is not like you. Nah, I ain't gonna say like you.
They like me, but I wasn't ready to play.
Right. Even in high school, like, so that's crazy. So like you get healthy, you know, your shoulder.
So I have shoulder surgery. I come back in the spring. And bro, they got me last on the depth chart. I'm talking about dead last. And then when the fall start, when the new recruits come in, bro, they had me behind some of the freshmen that we recruited. So I'm like, what the heck? So I'm taking it very personal, but this the most laser focused I've been. Now at corner, Antonio Cromartie was a starting corner, and I think the other one was, I'm not sure, maybe Gerard Ross. He was older guy, he's senior. So, and then we had just the year before that, we had Brian McFadden and Leroy Smith. They both went to the NFL.
I had some guys.
So we had some really good players. So, and then we had all these high recruit guys who were coming in. So, which I was one of them dudes too.
Yeah.
So basically, we get there in the spring, and it's like we battling it out. And I tell you what, I didn't know what to do, but I knew how to play man.
Flip the switch.
So all I was thinking about one-on-ones. I'm a guard Chris Davis, CC Davis. I'm guarding Fonzo Thorpe. All these guys were draft picks. I'm gonna guard them one-on-ones.
Okay.
I'm going against the best guy. I don't even want to go against the guys I came in with. I want to go against the starters. I want to go against Cody Fagg, these dudes who are getting drafted, who about to go to the next level.
Yeah.
And I want to show them that I can play.
Yeah.
So, of course, I don't know if guys were scared or not scared, but hell, I'm finna get up here. I'm going to go 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. I'm going to keep going.
Right.
So, still fall comes. Now I'm probably like 3rd string. No, summertime hits. Summertime hits. Antonio Cromartie tears his ACL in the summer. Summer workouts. We are doing one-on-ones. We had a camp, bro. Some high school kids came from high school. You know, the high school kids come up talking trash to the college kids.
Get competitive.
So Crow is like, man, I'm finna go show this high school kid what's what. Dude run a deep ball. Crow tears ACL. Like doing workouts.
Not even
Now, Crow is going to be, he first team preseason USA all American. He probably going to be top corner, whatever the case may be. One of the top corners in college football. He never started at Florida State. He started 1 game in college. So he didn't start before that. People don't know that. Yeah. Okay. People don't know that.
Go ahead.
So he tore his ACL. So now it's like, oh, we're looking for somebody to replace Crow. Who's going to be the starter?
It's up. It's up.
Here we go. It's my opportunity. I'm a redshirt freshman.
Yeah.
So we battling. We got everybody battling. And then I remember, so we played Miami the first game. We ranked number 2. They ranked number 3. So it's like Miami, Florida State. We played on Monday night, first Monday night game in football.
Yeah.
So it's going in Doak Campbell. So it's going to be the game.
Yeah.
right? So, Coach Bowden ain't never called me. Coach Bowden called me to his office. I'm like, oh shoot,
What's going on?
I'm like, what did I do? What happened?
Yeah.
So Coach Bowden called me to his office, and I probably been in Coach Bowden's office 3 times the whole time I've been there. That was the first time I've been in there, besides getting recruited. He called me to his office. He's like, Tony, he's like, I want to talk to you. He's like, you're doing a heck of a job for us. He's like, you're gonna start against. You're gonna be a starter. You start in that corner. We're gonna announce it to the media.
Yeah.
He's like, you're gonna be the first. You're gonna be the only freshman on defense to play.
Yeah.
To start.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't wait to get out of there. I'm calling my brother. The first person I called my brother.
Yeah.
And I was like, and so I called him. And usually when I call him, I'm complaining. Man, you know, blah, blah. So I called him. I said, bro, you won't believe this. I said, man, he like, what you do? I said, bro, I'm starting against Miami. Freshman. What? He was like, what?
Yeah.
He couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, y'all got to come to the game. I'm like, I'm starting. The game is next week.
Yeah.
So he was like, I said, I told you I've been balling in practice.
Yeah.
He ain't really, they believed it, but they didn't believe it.
Yeah.
And especially how I just came off of surgery, like all these things. So they didn't really know. So fast forward, bro, we played Miami the first game. First game we go out there, I remember like it was yesterday. I'm on the bus. I'm sitting in the first seat on the bus. We coming from the hotel in Thomasville. Leon Washington, one of my boys, close friend of mine.
No, Leo, yeah.
So Leon is star running back. He 2 years above me. Like he been playing in Miami Florida State game for 2 years.
Okay.
He a junior, I'm a freshman. And so we listen to Jeezy on the bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will never forget this.
Put on.
Boy got tears in his eyes. I said, oh, this is real.
That boy ready.
I'm so nervous. And I'm like, I thought motivation one-on-one. The whole ride down, the whole bus rocking.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is Miami, Florida. This is what I grew up wanting to do.
Yeah.
And I'm out here about to play and start and play the whole game. And they said, we ain't rotating. Coach Andrews told me, we not rotating. You playing the whole game.
You out there.
Until you can't handle it. I said, okay, no problem. I'm like, all right, cool. We get there, bro. I remember pulling in the stadium, and that thing is rocking.
Oh, yeah.
Game day there, everybody.
Crazy.
And all I was thinking about was, bro, this is what I was thinking about when I was a little kid my whole life. Like, this is all I wanted to do.
Wow.
I wasn't thinking about pro football.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I finally get to do it. Changed my number. I was number 15 that year. Still ain't give me number 4. I went to 15. I was cool with that. So I go down there. I'm like, Coach. So I'm like, Coach, I need to be on the kickoff team because this is my first snap.
Trying to bust somebody's head.
I'm like, I need to be on the kickoff team. Put me as the fold guy or whatever.
That's a crash dummy.
When I get out there, I remember my doggone legs was shaking, bro. They were shaking. Now, mind you, I'm still 5'9", 153 pounds maybe. I ain't gained but 10 pounds. I went to college.
Yeah.
Other side of the ball, bro, they got Moss over there. They got Frank Gore running back. They got some boys.
Now,
I don't know. I know who they are, but they not the Frank Gore and them guys that you know to this day. Right. They younger than college too. Devin Hester over there. They got some dudes. I'm finna play against these guys.
Yeah.
Now I know who they are, but I'm me, right? So I'm thinking the same thing. So we go out there, first play kickoff, bro. I swear I got a little pee dripping down my leg. I don't know if it really was, but bro, let me tell you.
It's the nerve. It's the
I was like I was just so ready. Pre-game warm-up, bro, I probably dropped every ball they threw. So nervous. And you know how at Florida State they got the Garner and Gold girls over there.
They're like,
they look like So and then my boys, so like this is how I go. Everybody in your class, they happy for you.
Yeah.
They like, boy, you star. And like my J.R. Bryant, he was one of my boys in school. Darius McClure was my roommate. You know, all us was DBs, so they knew I was playing. So them boys like, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So man, we get out there first play, bro. They ran like a lead to Frank Gore. The receiver crack block. They ain't blocked the corner. Came up, made a tackle.
Yeah.
Boy, you thought I won a Super Bowl or something. I got up to the corner. I got him hiding. And they like, oh, it's a good play. He probably gained like 2 yards or something. But I'm like, After that, it was regular
Settle
football.
down.
Settle down. I didn't know what nobody else was doing on the field. I just knew what my job was, and I knew to talk to the safety right here.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, we playing cover 3. I'm like, oh, are you down or you back?
Right.
Oh, he down. Okay, my safety coming from over there. Play outside leverage. So I played just the whole freshman year. I just thought about what leverage, my job, playing technique. So I ended up playing good. I was freshman All-American.
Yeah.
And I had to have surgery again.
Oh, man. On what?
My other shoulder.
Man.
My other shoulder.
Damn, man, it's really so much to like unpack right there, bro, because honestly, man, like you coming in and making a statement, like what a lot of young players, like, because I get asked a lot, man, how can I stand out, like, blah, 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 like you really hit it on the head when you saying like, bro, I'm last on the depth chart, don't nobody believe in me, I'm finna go line up against the best receiver.
That's it.
Come on, man, show that you want to compete, bro, like, don't let the depth chart or whatever it is early, like you can't let that get in your head, bro, because then you gonna be psyching yourself out thinking you ain't like, nah, it's like at the end of the day, bro, you at one of the best schools out there, bro. Yeah. Like you know what I'm saying? You can't take everything personal. They done gave somebody else your number 4. Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
the crazy part about it is that those things are probably the best things that could have happened to me.
Exactly.
Because it created, I got something to prove. I got more to work for. You know, it's not just given, which nobody has it given. I don't care what nobody says. Mm-hmm. Everybody got to work. Yeah. But when people count you out or when you think they look at you a certain way, you know how they feel about you. When I walked by the hallways my freshman year, them coaches ain't come talk to me.
Walking straight by you.
They walk straight by me. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He don't like me like that. Now I remember, and I won't say their names, after that first game, we played against Miami.
They want to shake your hand.
All of them. High five, this, that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is the same dude that didn't speak to me all last year, but I didn't take it personal. It was more so like, you got to earn it.
Yeah.
You got to earn it. So I was under the impression that, or I knew, not under the impression, but I knew that that's the same thing I went through in 10th grade. Same thing I went through, transferring schools or whatever. And I had insecurities as well. Yep. So I'm not going to sit up there and act like I was all confident. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, do I belong here?
Yeah.
I walk in the locker room, I see all these big old dudes in here.
Yeah.
These dudes about to get drafted. Mm-hmm. But one thing I would say is, man, the older guys, when you earn the respect of your teammates, bro, that instills a confidence in you.
It do.
So the older guys who were, seniors when I was a true freshman, when they saw me like run, cover, do all these things, them dudes be like, bro, you gonna be raw.
Yeah.
You gonna be good.
Yeah.
So I remember Leroy Smith, Brian McFadden, Cromartie, Jerome Carter, Pat Watkins, all these dudes telling me like, man, you gonna be good, bro.
Yeah.
Like you got it. You got the feet, you got the skills, like you gonna be good. But it's just like they see it, but don't. I'm not getting it. Nah, I kinda know it because and I always had this somebody told me this. I think I went to, this is a crazy story. So Kirby Smart, head coach at Georgia, he taught me how to play corner.
What?
So when I was in high school, Kirby was a GA, a graduate assistant at Florida State. Wow. So when they recruited me, they used to send Kirby to come to camps with me. Right? So we went to this camp called Down and Dirty. It probably was illegal recruiting, I don't know, but he came to this camp with me, and my high school went there, but Kirby worked with me the whole time I was there. Wow. Press coverage, he wanted to see me do this, see me do that. So he was teaching me like how to play DB, how to play corner. Yeah. Like I was just playing off of I didn't have no technique, just playing off of athleticism, play offense my whole life. So once but he never coached me. So when I got to Florida State, he left and took the job at LSU with Nick Saban.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
So I never got to play for him, but he actually taught me over, some camps and just being around, like how to like play corner. Mm-hmm. And so I always knew, once I got to college, I kind of like learned from Coach Andrews. Everything was about just technique
and I never relied on what I did before. So I kind of erased everything I had learned before when I was younger, and like basically conformed.
Yeah.
If you conform to what they're telling you, you got a better chance of like being successful when you first get to school.
Yeah.
Don't listen to your trainer back at home, because your trainer ain't gonna put you in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't had no trainer, but
it's just in today's
world, like
yeah.
people like, oh, my trainer do this, versus your coach is the one that's gonna play you.
You got to buy into the system.
You gotta fully submit to it.
Yeah.
And if you do that, like I only knew how to play press in high school. Didn't know how to play off coverage. I was pressing wrong, but it's just like, you got your man, I got my man. Mm-hmm. But then I learned how to play off coverage. Best thing that could have happened to me, because that was probably my best quality. 3-step. I can get my 3-step read. I got good ball skills. I can mentally process things a lot faster than most of my peers.
Yeah.
And it's because I've always been a student of the game, and that's coming from when I was younger, reading the newspaper, being a student of how guys made these plays. When I watch the games, like I listen to the commentators say what they're saying. I don't just look at the result of the play. Mm-hmm. So I was always a student of the game. So when I got to college, the first thing I learned was know what you got to do. And then probably by my sophomore year, I was like, okay, now I can learn what the linebackers doing. Mm-hmm. Then my junior year, I'm going to learn the linebackers and the D-line.
Yeah.
And then I always studied the offensive side because I was intrigued with offense. So I already knew concepts and all that stuff from just studying and just being around. So call it a hallway guy. So we got Terrell Buckley. Terrell Buckley came like my junior or senior year. Okay. That's when he started volunteer coaching. He's a legendary college and pro player. Mm-hmm. And Terrell Buckley taught me everything.
Wow.
So he used to say, what time you got class? I'm like, 8. All right. I see you at 7:15. So I used to go in the office, bro. He there 7:15, I ain't going at 7:15. Me and him watching film. Wow. And we watching NFL tape, all type of stuff. He teaching me like this, that.
Yeah.
This what the D-line doing. And I'm like, okay, what time you got at class? 12. I see at 12:30. Mm-hmm. So that's when I learned, I'm like, oh, this is how you really become a student of the game. You know what I mean? So like, but I had injuries all through college and, how that go.
Yeah. But, okay, so you say you had injuries all throughout college. You had to get surgery. Did you have to get surgery on your shoulder again after your freshman year?
Yeah, so I had surgery 2 years in a row. Mm-hmm. So I had surgery my redshirt year, and I had surgery after my redshirt freshman year. So 2 years in a row, right then left. Mm-hmm. So I didn't even play. So I was supposed to run track when I got to college, but I had to have surgery both times, so they wouldn't let me run track because I had to do rehab. So I couldn't run track. But my deal was I was supposed to come in and run track and play football. But I kept having surgery, so they're like, nah, you got to be over here rehabbing and getting yourself back right. So I couldn't run track. Yeah. So had surgery 2 years in a row. Then after that, I had a good sophomore year. Good junior year, and I thought about leaving early, which I probably, looking back on it, I probably should have.
You thought about leaving early?
Yeah, because I was starting 3 years. I probably had like 5 or 6 picks my junior year, 2 to the house. Sophomore year, I got bowl game MVP. I was playing good. Yeah. But I wasn't going to get no bigger.
Yeah.
I was already 4'3", wasn't gonna get no faster.
Right.
So I'm like, I graduated 3 years. I'm like, I might as well leave.
So what made you stay?
Cause I talked to Coach Andrews and he like, what's the point of you leaving? You probably not gonna be a high pick. But I'm like, hell. If I'd have known I wasn't gonna get drafted, I probably would have just left. But I probably would have got drafted because leaving early, I probably would have got a chance to go to the combine. Yeah. I would have got a chance if I would have got a chance to go to the combine and run a 40, I would have ran probably the top 5 fastest times. Yeah. Because at the pro day, I ran a 4.27. So I'm like, hell, at the combine, at least I would have ran a 4.29 or 4.30.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So I'm like, I should have just left. But my senior year, I was up and down hurt, had a knee, and my shoulders was acting up. So it was like I was always hurt throughout college, but played
only missed one game. So through my whole career, so I probably got the most. I think I had the most starts, and somebody else broke it. An offensive lineman broke it, but I had the most starts in Florida State history for a long time.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Especially the way you got there and facing the adversity you had to face. So before we transition to like you going into the NFL, what was it like playing for Coach Bowden? Like how was he and how was that time?
He was. I think he was. Coach Bowden helped me out more as an adult than he did back when I was like a young adult, shall I say? Because all of those things that he taught us, like his whole goal was for to tell all his players about Christ. Nice. People know it, but they don't know it.
Yeah.
Like he was like that grandfather figure to where they say little, but they saying a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he led by example. I never heard him curse. Never seen him like, get angry at
Dogging nobody.
Dogging anybody. Competitive, yes. Aggressive about like how we should go about things. But he did a good job of managing the coaches. You know what I mean? Coach Andrews was the enforcer of everything. Jimbo came along my last 2 years as an offensive coordinator. So just being around, you saw how much they respected him. So you basically, you fell in line. It was always yes, sir, no, sir. Everything was about manners. Even though we had different guys from different walks of life, we may not have gotten it when we were in school, but when we left and became adults, it's like, oh, I'm glad I had an example like Coach Bowden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm glad, like, even to this day, it doesn't matter. Like, people say, if I say, hey, I went to Florida State, you play for Coach Bowden? Yeah. They're like, oh, what was he like? It's the same thing every single time. Like, everybody wants to know. And I always say this, and Coach Bowden is, obviously, everybody knows about Coach Bowden, but Coach Andrews, heart and soul of it. Wow. Best coach I ever had. One of the best men I know, by far, not even close.
What made him like the best coach,
bro? He was the hardest coach I've ever had. He demanded excellence every single day, from the time you walked into the meeting room, from the time you stepped on the grass. But then he loves you. He will curse you out like a dog, but he'll sit with you in the cafeteria and say, I love you. I'm doing this because of. I promised your mama I was going to take care of you.
Wow.
And you don't get that. That's when, the genuineness of coaching is like, a lot of people do it for money. Some people do it for notoriety. Some people do it for wins and losses. Yes, all of those things I believe he did it for. Yeah. But his most important thing was, I'm going to make better men out of you. Yeah. And I'm going to do it through the game by he only knew one way to do it, and that's direct.
Wow.
So you always knew where you stood.
Yeah.
If he coming there looking at you sideways, you probably didn't look good on tape, or you wasn't hustling. Wow. So everything was about effort, attitude, discipline, and competing. Yeah. Like after practice, we ran every day, and it was a competition of who can win, who gonna come in first. Yeah. You know what I mean? Tackling drills, old school way. And he taught Deion Sanders, Leroy Butler. Okay. These Hall of Fame guys, Derrick Brooks, he taught all these dudes. So we coming in and we seeing these guys and how they love him so much. What are we missing? Yeah. Why when we just fall in line? Yeah. So I think by far he's had the most impact on my life as a coach. By far.
No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So you leave Florida State. You didn't get an invite to the combine, but you ran a 4.27 at your pro day. When you go undrafted, you end up going to Denver. So were you surprised that you went undrafted?
Hell yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was. Now, looking back on it, I shouldn't have been surprised. But the reason why is because, hell, the dudes that was getting drafted, hell, I was way better than them in college. Yeah. If you're looking at body of work,
right.
You know what I mean? I probably had 2 or 3 punt returns to the crib. Probably had 6 touchdowns in college,
Yeah.
11, 12, 13 interceptions, bowl game MVP twice.
Wow.
Started 4 years. I'm like, and I played at a good school against some good competition. So I thought that was the pedigree to go.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand was your potential for the next level. And I didn't understand that 5'9", 175 pounds is not potential for the next level. I didn't understand that. I just thought it was what you did and how you produce.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should. But I didn't know that they'll take a dude from New Mexico State
Got the tangible.
because he's 6'1" and he 195 pounds over somebody. I didn't know that. I had no idea. So I was kind of blind to it. I was just always taught the best man is whatever. You know what I mean? So I remember during the draft, that's probably the saddest day of my life. During the draft, I got a call in the 3rd round from Atlanta. They called me, hey, we think about taking you with our next pick if we take a defensive guy. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, Cleveland called in the 4th round. I'm like, so I'm getting calls. I'm at my mama's house. I'm getting calls. So I'm like, I'm thinking I'm going to get drafted.
About to
I ain't
happen.
had no draft party or nothing like that because I didn't go to the combine or nothing like that. But I kind of figured, I went to an all-star game. They had the Texas vs. Nation game in, one of them, in El Paso, Texas, something like that. I did really well there.
Okay.
You know, did good in practice. I was like, okay, some of these dudes, I saw some of the dudes that I was in the all-star game with, they were getting picked. I'm like, I was killing him in practice.
Right.
You know, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I should get picked. Man, then the 7th round come out, like, I don't even want to get picked.
wanna get picked, yeah.
I was like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
But it was good. I thought that's when I cried. That's the first time I really cried around my mother. I was like sad when in the room. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I'm thinking like, it's kind of over, but it's not over.
Yeah.
And of course, my agent's like, oh, well, you got plenty of teams that want you, blah, blah, blah. So my high school teammate, Marcus Thomas, he had got drafted by the Broncos a year or so before.
Okay.
And so we were high school teammates and friends. He went to the University of Florida. He was a D lineman. So he was already playing with the Broncos. So he like, bro, come out here. Like, come here. You can stay with me. Like, he like, trust me. He like, you going to like it. You going to do good. So I was like, all right, cool. So I went to Denver. And we had a new coach. Josh McDaniels had just got the coaching job. That was his first coaching job.
Okay.
And he came from New England.
Yeah.
And so they were going through, new coaches. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll go.
Okay, so you end up going to Denver. What was your first year like? What was your first year in the NFL like?
It was actually, I was depressed, bro.
You was depressed?
I was
Just
depressed.
because of like
I was
what
depressed
happened?
because life was different. You went to school in Tallahassee, right?
Uh-huh.
You leave Tallahassee where you like the man, you got everything at your fingertips. And I go to Colorado where I'm an undrafted free agent. I mean, I got a little bit of money, but not like that. I'm scratching and clawing. I got no friends out there, not my real. I got one friend who my buddy.
Yeah.
But he playing. He like a starter.
Yeah.
So he can't really relate to me. So I was like, man, I don't like this. This is not what I thought about. This is not the dream that I was dreaming about.
Dang.
So I was like, man, this is terrible. So I'm on the practice squad. Well, first of all, when we first get there, I'm fighting, through camp, not getting no reps. You know how it is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang. But I go back, I'm like, well, one-on-ones, I'm finna shine. I'm gonna go guard Brandon Marshall, who was the number 1 receiver at the time. They like, nah, get him out of there. They trying to get me up out of there.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, let me go get some.
Yeah.
Let me go get some. But I had already knew Brandon. My high school teammate went to UCF, and they were roommates in college. So I used to work out with them in the summertime.
Okay.
He a little bit older than me, but I already knew him. Eddie Royal was a rookie. He made first team all whatever his rookie year. He went to Virginia Tech. I was going against him all years in college. That's like, I've been playing against him for 4 years already.
Yeah.
So I'm like, these are the starters on the team. So I'm like, I know I can guard these two. Let me go out here and see. Now, of course, My rookie year, what I will tell you is that mentorship of older guys really like instill confidence in you. And these are I had 3 Hall of Famers my rookie year in the secondary. Champ Bailey, Brian Dawkins, and Ty Law.
I ain't know that. I suppose
3 Hall of Famers, bro. 3 Hall of Famers in the secondary.
You came up.
And they all older. And Champ and I, we still friends to this day. And Dawkins is from Jacksonville, so I know him. I didn't know Ty Law at all. So Ty Law had been in New England for a while. McDaniels brought him over because, they had the New England deal. So he came over. Dawkins was coming over from Philly. Champ was already there. He was the man. Of course, I was idolizing all of them.
Right.
And so, man, when I got there, like, my locker was next to Champ's. Like, they didn't think I was going to be there.
That's what you
right? Undrafted. They like, oh, he ain't going to be here. We just put his locker here, and so he'd be out of here. Then Champ would have a free locker next to him, right?
Yeah.
So, man, Champ is from South Georgia. I'm from Jacksonville. So we like right up the road. So I remember when I come in there, I met him. I'm like, oh, he a cool dude. And he was like talking to me, and it sounds weird saying it because we boys now, but he was like, man, I want to go to Florida State, but they ain't offer me.
Oh, man.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I didn't offer me. He was like, yeah, man, they ain't really want me, man. They wanted somebody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I said, I want to go to Georgia. I said, I didn't want to go. I said, I like Georgia, but they ain't really recruit me like that. And so we just kind of got talking. And come to find out, some people in his family knew some people in my family. He was like, man, he was like, I got you, man. Don't worry about nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this was during like camp. And I used to be trying to like stay around the facility a lot because I heard older people say, man, stay around the facility. Don't be so quick to go back to the hotel or wherever you're going. Hang around the facility. So I used to get in there early I ain't doing nothing. I'm just in there. And then, stay around a little bit late, whether it's talking to the trainers or going in the weight room or just hanging around. You know what I mean?
Sure. Okay.
So then, the bus for the rookies, they leave at a certain time. So I used to be asking people for a ride home and stuff. I'm like, let me get a ride back to the hotel, asking the vets and stuff, give me a ride back to the hotel. So then Champ gave me a ride one time, and he took me to his house. And I'm like, dang, he got this big-ass house. You know what I mean?
I ain't depressed no more. I think it's something good, right?
He got this big old house. So then I go to his crib, and he was like, man, here, take the whip. He let me hold his Range Rover. He was like, take the whip. He was like, just give it back to me, whenever, Monday or whatever.
That's crazy.
So the weekend goes by. I have his car. So I'm like, hey, I come into work. I like, hey, bro, I got your car. He like, oh, just hold on to it. He let me hold his car. He let me hold the car the whole season.
Man.
He was like, don't spend your money. He's like, you good. You know what I mean? So then I had another dude, Andre Davis, like a big brother to me. We still close. Dre was like he was 8-9 year vet at the time. Okay. He was a linebacker. He was a starting linebacker. And so all those dudes, they kind of took me under their wings because they saw like my personality. I was like real laid back about my business, just like real chill. So Dre was like, man, I got a car. You want to buy it? And I was like, man, I can't buy your car. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, you ain't got to pay me. Just pay me whenever you can.
Yeah. So
he gave me a car.
Dang, boy.
And basically, I gave him like $6,000. Maybe.
Yeah, just
and he was like, how he sold it to me was 000. And I'm like, all right. So then I gave him like $1,000 a week, like the last 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Champ, I got a car now, bro. You can get your whip back. You know what I mean? He was like,
don't tell me.
Just drop it off. But like, he went on the
okay.
He was like, whatever you want to do, like, you know what I mean? So it was kind of weird because I'm like, hanging around. I'm not hanging around these dudes, but like I'm hanging around them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They taking me under their wing. Like, like Dre wife will cook and he'll be like, bro, my wife cooking, come through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I go to his house, eat, and I kind of like, I'm looking around. They got real houses and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's love.
So they family. So he was a real family man. So I learned a lot from him. Like, okay, this is the other side of the NFL. Like, these boys over here wilding, hanging out, going out. Okay, this dude got a wife, kids. He all about his family.
Yeah.
Faith-wise, I like that.
Yeah.
And I was doing a bit of both. You know what I mean?
But it's the same. You
But
gotta see it.
but I learned from those older guys and just being around Dawkins, seeing how he worked every day. In the weight room, he the same in the weight room as he is on the field.
Man, going crazy.
Going there and lifting hard.
Yeah.
In the meeting room, bro. In the meeting room. And that's where you really, you play. So in the meeting room, that's when you like learn.
Yeah.
That's when you learn your boys and all that stuff. When they do bad, when they do good, how they are. So I remember one time we had a rookie come in there late, and Dawkins was like, don't even worry about it.
Oh, keep it pushing.
He like, don't even worry about it. So we doing like, what? So basically they told the dude to leave.
That's what I'm saying.
He's like, bro, if it don't mean enough to you to show up on time, you can't play with us Sunday. Like basically like, nah, we don't want you to play.
Right.
And I'm like, I was never late. Now this is just something a players mean. This not even coaches mean.
But he's saying the standard. He's saying the standard.
He said the
and that's
standard. He's
what-
like, nah. And it can't. And so I learned from those dudes, meaning like, I saw how those dudes took it serious. And they wasn't trying to do stuff for other people. They really cared about like their teammates. Like Chan was probably the quietest dude on the whole team.
Yeah.
But he practiced every single day.
Yeah.
He like, oh no, I ain't finna not practice. Ain't none of y'all young bucks about to take my
Take my
spot.
spot, yeah. Yeah.
Bro,
You chill, baby. Right? Everybody finna put this
But
that
I
mentality.
saw how he went about it. Off-season workouts, bro. He got the bonus. He like, bro, I gotta come. I don't want to be here. I'm gonna come get this bread. You know what I mean? So like, I saw how he operated, how he moved. So it was like very good to see. And so I'm glad I came in and got to see that. So that kind of helped my career. That's why I ended up lasting longer than expected.
Nah, yeah, because at the end of the day, everybody not gonna get that chance to be under 3 Hall of Famers.
Correct.
In their position.
In the same room.
Position,
Yes.
Same room. Like that's really rare, bro. So, and then obviously everybody else ain't getting the keys to the Rage room. Like they're trying to squad, like,
Hey.
you feel me? So they like that was you was real blessed in that area for sure. So after your first year at Denver, you ended up going to a couple of different teams. Like what happened with that?
So after my rookie year, I finished my rookie year, I was playing. Like I was a starting nickel like the last 4 games of the season.
Okay.
So I ended up working my way up to playing my rookie year. And then in the off season, the draft came, all of that. So they cut me. They cut me and I went to New England. How I went to New England because Josh McDaniels came from New England. And so they had a relationship. New England worked me out before the draft, so they wanted me to come anyway. Okay. So I went to New England. So I went to New England. I get there, I'm like, boy, I thought I didn't like Denver. This is I'm like, it's so cold out here in the middle of the night. That ain't Boston.
Nah, it's
Mansfield, Massachusetts. That's where I live. I said, bro, it's and I'm talking about working. I'm
just
talking
during
about
the Belichick, was Tom Brady at that?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. They had already won Super Bowls and stuff.
Okay.
So it was like they were already established. It's rolling. But when I tell you, bruh, I got to New England, I learned more football when I got to New England than I had learned my whole career. I'm talking about from top to bottom. What? I learned about offensive line. That's what made me want to coach. How they prepared themselves and how they went about the details of every single thing. That's the best thing that could happen to me my second year in the league, because now I saw some examples of some really good players and how they went about it. Okay, now I go here to where some players are lesser talented here, but they got the coaching staff and how they prepare for games. You walk into the meeting, bro, they like, hey, who's the left tackle for the Minnesota Vikings? We playing Minnesota. Who's the left tackle? Javien, who's the left tackle? And you be like, you don't know.
Yeah.
Better know tomorrow.
Better know.
So it's like the Patriot Way, that stuff was real, bro.
Dang.
So I learned a lot there. I learned about special teams. I learned about just how to prepare for certain quarterbacks. Just you learn so much.
Yeah.
Kicking game.
Yeah.
You learned about the phases of just education, bro. Wow. School football, education. with some ability, and I can see why, you know, they won a lot, and these players flourished too. Yeah. All these great DBs that went there. McCourty was a rookie when I was there. He made the Pro Bowl as a corner. People don't even know he played corner first.
Nah, I didn't.
Devin McCourty was a corner first, made the Pro Bowl his rookie year. Had like 6, 7 picks, I believe. As a rookie.
They had a machine.
Sante Samuels, all them dudes he was there before I was there, but
boy, he played with some boys.
The knowledge of, like, you know, what them dudes, how they talk.
Yeah,
you can see why.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it there. I went to New England. After New England, that was the lockout year, 2010. So we ain't had no off season. So I really went to New England. I ended up getting on the active roster there, playing. So after New England come, we had a lockout year. We lock out the whole summer, no off season. So now it's just time to come back to camp. As soon as the lockout got lifted probably at 12 o'clock noon. New England called me at 1. Cut. I'm like, what?
God. No.
I didn't even go back to New England. I was home. I was here in Orlando working out, and they cut me. I'm like, why they gonna cut me? And that didn't even whatever. So fast forward, bro. I didn't have a job in the preseason.
Yeah.
So I go to Minnesota the last week of the preseason. This is 2011, my 3rd year.
That's kind of. Go ahead.
So I'm a camp body.
That's what I was about to say.
Bro, they brought me in on Wednesday. No, they brought me in on Tuesday, the game on Thursday.
That's a setup.
Bro, I had number 49 on.
Number 49? I bet you appreciate it.
Got a pick.
Got a pick?
In the game. Didn't know what was. They threw me out there. Got an interception in the game. So I already know it's a camp body. I get there. I'll practice one day with the team. Did a walkthrough. Go play in the game. And I played a good amount. We playing against Seattle. And I remember being out there like, I don't even know the calls or nothing, but we playing basically cover 3, cover 2 man. That's all we played. Ended up getting an interception in that game. Fast forward, you know how after that weekend, the NFL get a week off or whatever, or the weekend off. So I already knew they was about to cut me. I flew back to Orlando. I got a little spot I had down here already. I had already brought all my stuff home. They called me like, hey, we're going to release you. You need us to get anything? I said, I'm already home. Like, I'm already gone, man.
That's crazy.
I already knew what time it was.
Yeah.
So, bro, make a long story short, I am home. That's that's early September. That's September. I'm home all of September, most of October. I'm working out with Coach Shaw. And I'm working out with Coach Brooks, the track coach. So I'm just working out.
Yeah.
I ain't got no job. I'm here.
Waiting on the phone call.
Waiting on the phone call. I'm like, man, at this point, I'm like, man, I'm about to get a real job or something. I got some money, a little bit of money, but not enough to like last me forever.
Yeah.
Right.
So squad.
Right. So I had a car, you know what I mean? I had a place to live that I was renting at the time. And I'm like, okay, what the heck am I going to do? And, there was some other guys who went to Florida State. They were older than me. They didn't have a job at the time too. Travis Johnson, Mario Henderson, God rest his soul, Alex Barron, them boys 1st round picks. So they didn't have a job at the time, but they were in like year 6, 7, you know, whatever. They were veteran players. So we all stand together at the townhouses that Coach Shaw had for us, and we having the time of our lives. Mind you, they got money.
Yeah.
They 1st round picks.
Yeah.
So I'm staying with Travis Johnson. Trap, that's my boy. And Trap, like, he had a townhouse. He like, bro, just give me. You ain't gotta give me $300 a month. You know what I mean? You whatever. So that was a blessing to me.
Oh yeah.
Because I was saving my money up, and then finally I got a call back from the Broncos, like in the middle of the season, and they wanted me to come work out. So I'm like, all right, go work out for them. And then we get done. We did all these drills on the field. Now, it's cold as hell out there. We do all these drills on the field, blah, blah. And they like, oh, we're going to run the 40. I'm like, yes.
My money.
Oh, yes, my money right here. It's going to be good.
I've been waiting.
I've been working hard. It's the hardest I ever worked. Because I kind of know how to work now. We run the 40. And so the guy who's the interim GM for the Raiders right now, Champ Kelly. Champ Kelly was a scout in Denver. Champ Kelly is my guy now. Champ Kelly, he always liked me. He was a Florida State fan and all that.
Okay.
So he brought me the first time. I used to talk to him a lot. So then when I came back, I remember after the workout, we ran the 40. So I'm like, what I run? And he looked at me, he said, bro, you might have ran the fastest time we ever had here at the workout. He like, oh yeah. He's like, oh yeah, you gonna be here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what I run? He was like, I think you run like a 4.28, bro.
Ooh, that boy blazing.
It was like 30 degrees outside.
Jeez.
So I was like, oh, really? The following week, bro, I'm playing. I mean, they put me in. Like, I'm on the active roster as soon as I get there. And then I played there for 4 more years.
Look at that. Just going from flying home early, leaving Minnesota,
Right.
not knowing when your next opportunity going to
Right,
come.
but always be ready. And Coach Shaw was a bigger testament to that because he kept me like, of course I knew to work out, but he was like, man, you got to add more value. And I'm like, what you mean? Like, you got to play some special teams.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I ain't never really played special teams. I like that. So every morning, bro, workout start at 9. I meet Coach Shaw at 8, and he'll shoot the jugs for me to catch punts. So when I got back, I'm like, oh, yeah, I return punts. So I was always a backup punt returner.
Yeah.
Like, just always could catch.
Yeah.
So, like, finally, like, in my later career, they used to put me at punt return, or I was the guy that, like, it's cold out there. We just want you to catch it.
Yeah.
Go back there and catch it. So it's like, oh, he's a backup returner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, you can play gunner a little bit, which I never really played it, but
The more you can do.
the more you can do. So, like, I kind of learned, what my role was.
Yeah.
And Coach Shaw helped me out a lot because he was like, you got to add more value to yourself. So, like, don't be, you can't just be a cover corner. You got to go and play inside and outside. They wanted me to play inside because of my size, but I play outside way better.
Yeah.
But I knew I could play everywhere. So finally, when I went back to Denver, I got the opportunity. Now I'm playing a whole lot. I'm actually like in the mix. I'm like, I'm out here now.
Yeah.
It's like totally different what I was my first 3 years in
Yeah.
the league, to my next 4 or 5 years later. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, that's lit, man. That's lit. And then another thing, when you get to Denver, you actually, man, you really got a chance to play with some great players, bro.
Really
Like,
good players.
You played with Peyton Manning.
Yep, Peyton Manning.
Played with Peyton Manning, and y'all end up going to the Super Bowl.
Yep. So when Peyton got there, it was like, before people, we had Tebow when I first got there, and it was like we went to the playoffs, and then we had other players. When Peyton got there, it was like, oh, we got a chance to win. You know what I mean? Like the whole vibe of everything changed. So, we brought in some free agents, and which was not good for me because we kept bringing in all these dudes and pretty much like kick me out of that kind of thing. And bro, we had got new coaches, new coordinators, all this stuff. So it was like they ain't like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They wasn't dealing. I wasn't one of their guys, so I had to earn my spot every year. To be a part of the 53-man roster. I might have been man number 53.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably it was, but I would tell you what. Every year, I'm like, I know I'm finna practice. I'm finna make some plays in practice. And when we get out here and I'm playing against these guys in the preseason who rookies, I'm finna go out there and dog them if they put me in late.
Yeah.
So, I remember I had to play against Terrell Owens. You know what I mean? I had to play against all these old vets who still trying to, make teams. They older. And I'm playing against some of the young players. But I already knew, like, all I got to make the team, I just got to be healthy.
Yeah.
And make plays. So every preseason, I'll probably get 1 or 2 picks in the game.
There you go.
And they can't cut you.
They can't. You know what I'm saying? It's
They
like,
can't cut
They
you.
wanted to.
They wanted to.
They wanted to.
They went to a lot of times.
Dang.
But they had to keep me because they like, damn, he's
balling.
making plays.
He balling.
He's like making plays. And he can
to.
cover. We can always put him in because you need like 5 or 6 corners that can play.
Yeah.
So if I played special teams or not, they like, well, it'll be some games I wasn't active, but we playing like a team that throw the ball, I'm active every week, and I'm playing.
Yeah, they're gonna put that package together.
Exactly.
So, man, you got to play with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Yep.
And I know the Patriot Way was Josh McDaniel the coach with Peyton Manning? Who was?
We had John Fox.
Okay.
John Fox. John Fox came from Carolina. He went to the Super Bowl with Carolina. They lost, but he went to the Super Bowl. And John Fox was a defensive guy. But when Peyton came, it was like, you know, different story. We had a chance to win. Now we lost. You know, the better team was probably the year we went to the playoffs every year with Peyton there. Now when they won the Super Bowl, I left and went to Indianapolis.
Oh man.
So they got rid of me. I lost the Super Bowl against Seattle. So when Seattle beat us, that's when they broke all the records on offense and had the highest scoring offense in the history of football, all that stuff. That was a really good team, but we lost. Seattle had our number, bro. Their defense was good.
Yeah.
They played Legion of Boom. They played that zone coverage and pass rush. That was the kryptonite.
Yeah.
So they killed us with that. And it started off bad. The first play of the game, we snapped the ball in the end zone.
I remember that.
And I'm like, oh, it's over. Then Percy Harvey ran the kickback. I'm like, it's a wrap. You know, so we got whooped in that. But I would say it was some good times that we had some really good teams. And then one year we got beat by Indianapolis in the playoffs, which we shouldn't have lost. And then the year when Baltimore won the Super Bowl, when they threw that Hail Mary to win, or that play to Jacoby Jones down the sideline.
Against San Francisco.
They won against San Francisco, but we lost to Baltimore to go. And we had beat them 31 to like threes before that. And then we played them in the playoffs and we did not perform well. Like we turned the ball over. Defense gave up. We gave up 3 or 4 bombs. And that was the game.
Dang.
And so they beat us in overtime on the field goal and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. That was the team that probably what I played on was probably the best team.
Dang.
With Peyton. But so the year they won, hell, they got rid of me. They won. I said, damn.
Yeah, went and got that ring.
Exactly.
I kind of know how that feels.
Yeah, no doubt.
I know how that feels. So you leave Denver and then you end up going to Indy. Now this after playing, what, 5 years?
Yeah, so I'm in year 7 at this point.
7,
I'm in year 7, so I go to Indy. And it was kind of like, I ain't last Indy long. I probably was there maybe 10 weeks or so because I was hurt. I was hurt the first 6 weeks of the season. So I was like doing like a medical, settlement type thing. So I couldn't play the first 6 weeks or else I couldn't get my settlement or whatever.
Okay.
So then I got picked up by Indy, go to Indy and played a little bit, but not much. You know what I mean? They already had their guys and some good players too.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Indy because I had some friends out there playing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was cool there. Then I left Indy, and then going to year 8, I went to New Orleans.
Okay.
And then I broke my foot in New Orleans. So I never played there. But that was my last year, my 8th year. And so I thought when I broke my foot, it was like, hell, if I can't run, I can't play.
Because that's always been your thing.
Right, sweet.
Yeah.
So I break my foot there, and then after I break my foot, it probably took like a whole year to kind of get back. So then I went down to and relationships matter because a lot of coaches that I played for before that I've been around, like I just text them like, Coach, I'm trying to come back and play. They're like, oh, we'll work you out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They're just basically like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
But my foot wasn't the same. So I went to Miami, and the Dolphins were probably gonna sign me, but I failed the physical.
Dang.
So I was like, well, it's over. I guess I get into coaching now.
Dang. That's how you knew when it was a wrap.
Yeah,
huh?
no doubt. Yep.
Dang. So you end up transitioning into coaching. You said you knew you wanted to coach from being in New England.
Correct.
So how did you get your first coaching job in the NFL?
Well, really, I got I did the Bill Walsh minority internship with the Oakland Raiders at the time. They were still in Oakland, and John Gruden was the coach. And John Gruden used to do those quarterback camps here in Orlando with Coach Shaw. Yeah. So I had met Gruden a few times, and Coach Shaw went out there to be the head strength coach. And so I did the internship with them, and that's when I kind of learned, like, that was my first step into coaching. You know what I mean? So I did that. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. And after that, I didn't stay there the whole season. It was an internship. So I was there for I did summer. I was there all season and all training camp. So probably like 3 months total.
Okay.
which was good for me.
Yeah.
And then, so I kind of learned like, okay, just how to look at things from the other side a little bit and learn how to be, in coaching. So then after that, I volunteered. So I volunteered. I went to the University of Georgia, called Kirby. He had first got the job at Georgia.
Dang.
I went up there for like 3 weeks and shadowed the defensive staff along with him. And so at the time, Kirby was like, asking me what I wanted to do. And I was like, well, I might try to play. I was kind of unsure. This is before I went to Oakland, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I went to, I said, I think I might still want to play because I was getting some calls or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I went to Mississippi State. Terrell Buckley was the DB coach there.
Yeah.
I went there for about 3 weeks. Went to the University of Tennessee. Coach Pruitt was the head coach there.
You got a lot of full circle moments.
All of it's full circle. It's relationship based.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I kind of like built my resume. So now I got a resume. I interned here, interned there. Mm-hmm. So then I got my first full-time job at Jacksonville University, right down the street from where I grew up.
Yeah.
And so my high school coach actually helped me get the job.
Wow.
He knew the head coach there. I told him I wanted to coach. And basically the head coach, he wanted to hire somebody who had been in coaching for a while, but he ended up hiring me. I was probably making $35,000, $40,000. Really nothing.
Experience though.
Really nothing. I was just enough to like, get an apartment and pay that. You know what I mean? If that. So, but I was like, okay, this is good. Now I got my full first time coaching job. And that's the happiest I was after playing.
It was the happiest you were because you went through a tough time after retiring?
Well, I would say yes, because you're kind of lost. You don't know, like, you kind of don't know, you know who you are, but you don't know who you are in the real world.
Yeah.
Because I've been boxed in since I was 7 years old with playing.
Yeah.
So now, okay, what the heck am I working out for? I mean, I'm been the same size. I ain't gonna get fat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what am I going to the gym for?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your schedule? Your daily schedule? I'm used to waking up, having to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Having to like be somewhere.
Yeah.
Having something that I gotta do.
Yeah.
So now I don't have nothing to do. So, I traveled for a little while. I'm like, okay, I'm just spending money.
Right.
That ain't gonna get it. I went
Right.
to Africa, took
yeah.
some trips with some friends, and we did a lot of charity work.
Yeah.
So that was real fulfilling, but it was like, okay, I got to get to what's going to be next career-wise.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to coach, and I had some good, mentors who told me volunteer, do these things, and then, God going to work things out for you. Just make sure you keep networking. So I got that job at JU. At JU, it was like I said, I was happy there because I was coaching football. It was like, man, but it was so different because my only college experience was Florida State, and then I interned at Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi State. So these are all big schools. Mm-hmm. I go there,
It ain't it.
bro, I got to do everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to
Car.
damn near do tutoring. I ain't got no GA. This is my first job coaching. So I'm just like, but it was good because I actually really got a real impact, and I learned so much how to I realized how much knowledge I had. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I was feeling somewhat insecure because I didn't coach, but I knew I got a PhD in football, especially coaching DBs.
Right.
I know that. And I had already been helping out with Coach Shaw since I was been playing.
Yeah.
But that's different from being a classroom.
Yeah.
Teaching, being a teacher in the classroom. So I had to work on my PowerPoints, do all these things, polish myself a little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking has always been a strength of mine. But I got that job. Super happy. Bro, I had so much fun. I used to be in there all day enjoying it. Like, I was walking around. I used to ride my bike every day.
No, that's good.
Like, I enjoyed it. Like, I was all in. And so after that, the season ended, and they ended the football program. So no more football at JU. I'm like, what the heck? So I'm like, what the heck am I going to do?
I just got happy. I just got,
Right.
then this happened.
So fast forward, I'm sitting there at my apartment in Jacksonville. I still got my house here. Oh shoot! I still got
the
my
fancy chair
right
here like that.
I still got my house. I got my house here in Orlando. So I'm like, okay, like we'll figure out what's next. And so everything's full circle. My old DB coach, who coached me in Denver for like 2 or 3 years, he got a defensive coordinator job with the Detroit Lions. And Matt Patricia was the head coach at the time, and he was in New England when I was there. So I saw it come across ESPN. I text him like, "Hey, coach, congratulations on the job." Nah, I'm not thinking like nothing. I'm gonna get a job. And he's like, "Man, how you doing? Like, what you been up to? Blah blah." I'm like, "Man, I've been coaching at JU to end the program." He was like, "You want to come coach with me?" I'm like, so he and I was like, "You serious?" He's like, "That's all you had to say." He's like, so he called me. He's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna get on this plane. I'll call you back." Wow. He called me back like 3 hours later and was like, "Hey, come interview." So I interview, go up there, and now I'm the assistant DB coach for the Detroit Lions, just like that.
Just like that, man. Nah, that's, man.
Yeah. So, but all adversity. So fast forward, I get into that, I get that job, and it's crazy because I've been coaching. I just finished my 4th year. I've been on 4 different teams. Now I work my way up. You know, I go from JU to Detroit. Then I go to, that's having Detroit gets fired. So I go to Southern Illinois for a year coaching DBs. Then I get a coordinator position in XFL. Now they just merged the leagues, got rid of Orlando team. So it's like a whole bunch of, it's just like crazy stuff going on every year. So I've been coaching 4 years now, and I've been on 4 different teams. And now I'm looking forward to see what's next.
Dang. That's what's up, man. But what I like most about everything that you've been saying, man, is just overcoming that adversity, and just having that mindset to keep going. You know, 'cause you could have easily gave up on a lot of stuff, man. So, with you coaching on every level, college, pro, what are some of the things you like about it, and some of the things, I know you mentioned like the impact at JU, but just overall, like on the pro and college level?
I would say college is they're younger, so you have a direct effect on their everyday lives. Like, you know, they're kind of growing. That's their first time being on their own. You're kind of like raising, you know, young men at the time. So the mentorship is definitely something that I enjoy about college. Also, you know, just the you kind of teaching the beginning stages of like real technique.
Yeah.
You know, as far as whatever you're teaching, like you got to teach them hand placement. It's the same stuff that pros teach, but it's way more detailed because you have more time. As far as like spring football and you know, you got them year round.
Yeah.
So I enjoy college in that way. I also enjoy college as far as just the pride of schools. You know what I mean? Like it's an impact on, most colleges are in small cities, so the impact on certain cities is definitely important. The community, and just, you know, having that relationship with their parents and, you know, whoever raised them is important because they send their baby off to college and now they send them to you, so it's more of a responsibility. So I enjoy that responsibility a lot. Pro football it's more about, I enjoy the competitive part of the game, X's and O's of it. The game is far more detailed.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm used to because I played obviously longer in pro football than college football, and just the details of like how everything is done. And it's all about the players. You know, everything is about the players, and you have, being a former player, it's a direct relation. Like I can look at a player and know exactly when he BSing on the pro level. I can look at a player and know when he's giving you his all, or he dealing with some stuff because of contracts or how they view you. I remember walking down the hall in the pro locker room and nobody talked to me. So I always make sure I'm speaking that positive role model, no matter if we're winning, losing, and just understanding the business side of things too, not taking nothing personal. That's that's with every level of sports now, because college is like pro.
Yeah.
So just understanding the business side of it, nothing is taken personal, and so it's pros and cons to everything. But overall, you know, if it wasn't for my coaches and all these people that I named before, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. So I feel like it's only right for me to be that to whoever I'm in front of.
Paying it forward.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So, with a lot of former players getting head coaching jobs right now, you know, we just saw Jared Mayo and Antonio Pierce get hired.
No doubt.
So, is it a goal of yours to become a head coach?
Damn right it is.
Yeah.
Of course. Of course it is. You know, of course it's going to take some work. It's going to take some good opportunities, and I'm willing to earn. You know, these guys aren't just getting head coach's job because somebody gave it to them. They earned it.
Yeah.
You know, they smart players. They are very smart people. They carry themselves the right way. They got the opportunities, took full advantage of it. So I think it's very important for those guys to do well. Like D'Amico Ryans, I'm rooting for him a lot.
Yeah.
You know, just because all these dudes are young, they my age.
Right.
You know, and they jump right into it and got those opportunities. So everybody's path is different to get to that point. But that's definitely a goal of mine, to be a head coach for sure.
So when you look back on everything you've done, what are you most proud of?
That's a tough question. I would honestly say just the impact of the people around me. You know, I don't look at anything that I've accomplished as you know, just something that's I say it with the most humility possible. And the reason why is because I want to be viewed more than just a football player or somebody that's involved in sports. So if somebody can't call me to, like, you know, the lady down the street, like, hey, can you help me move, you know, whatever. They don't even know I play sports.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have no idea, or they don't know what I do or anything like that. They just know it's a nice young man that lives down the street.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I can't be a positive light on people, whether it's through the platform of sports or if it doesn't have anything to do with it, then I feel like I hadn't done my job. So
Yeah.
I try to just lead by example, and the way I carry myself, the way that I was raised, and also making my family proud. Like, that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
You know, my grandmother, my aunts, my uncle, my mother, my dad, you know, everybody, my younger niece and nephew, they look up to me a lot. So I know that they are, like, watching.
Yeah.
And now with social media, I know that other people are watching. So your platform is bigger than what you think.
Right.
So through mistakes and through success, just make sure that I'm doing things the right way, you know, through whatever happens. But try to do it the right way.
Yeah. No, I like that. So the last thing I'm gonna ask you is, if you could build a perfect DB right now by combining different players, assets or attributes, how would you
Like
form that
active
DB?
players, I'm taking
Active, yeah.
Okay, I'm going with ball skills. I'm taking Peters.
Okay, Marcus Peters.
Marcus Peters, ball skills. Speed. I mean, all these dudes fast now, but speed, I'm just gonna say a guy that's in the 4.4 or less. From athleticism, I'm gonna say like Ramsey. He athletic.
Yeah.
You know, he can jump off either foot.
Yeah.
You know, and from a size standpoint too, somebody around his size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna say I like the dude Humphreys, the way that he plays from a physicality standpoint in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like, he tackle, strip the ball, like from a physical standpoint.
Yeah.
From an IQ, that's hard. It's hard.
Man, IQ.
It's hard to say IQ wise because I don't know who knows what. Honestly, it's kind of hard to tell because I'm not in there with them.
I'll throw somebody there. Man, you got like Jesse Bates.
I like
The
him.
safeties from the Bills.
See, I was naming corners. That's
Just
okay.
corners. Just corners.
Yeah, I was
well, yeah,
naming
corners is tough to know.
It's kind of know who's what.
If
But
you're
from,
just talking about corners, then yeah, okay.
from a safety standpoint, that's hard to say because I only think about older guys because, you know, like
Antoine Whitfield.
I like Winfield. I interviewed him at the combine. I liked him.
Yeah.
I like how he's and his dad's played for a long time, so I know he's got it. I like his IQ, his competitiveness too, and he's not a big dude.
Right.
But I would say I look at it more from you have to do multiple things at DB.
Gotcha.
You got to be able to tackle, cover, and you know,
You gotta be
blitz,
smart, too.
ball skills. I'm a big fan of Derwin James. Yeah, I'm biased for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of guys that's out there, but I would say if I had to build, those would be the traits I would look for.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what's up, man. Well, hey, Tony, appreciate you again.
I got a question for you.
Holla at me.
What inspired you to do this?
What inspired me to do this? So you know how you talked about when you retired and you couldn't, you didn't really know who you were, and when you got to Jackson State or Jacksonville, you were happy again.
Mm-hmm.
The root of that was you being able to make an impact on people and discovering your purpose and your passion, and that's what this is all about with me, because, I'm in a unique situation in my playing career, but all the things that I've been through, whether it's prepared me for this moment right here.
Okay.
And I've always wanted to make an impact on people, and my time away from football has really turned me and changed me into a new person. And, this content is just a way to inspire the younger athletes, the walk-ons, the underdogs, the 5'9", 140, getting cut by his team. I literally see, we have a lot of similarities, because when you were telling your story, I saw me in a lot of that situations, and that's what this is about. This is about the kid who wants to walk on or who don't. It's for you. It's for them.
Correct.
And I want to be able to answer the questions that they have and add value to people's life. So it's just a part of God's plan and discovering how to make an impact on people. So,
well, you're doing a phenomenal job, man. I admire that. I admire your courage and everything you're doing. And anything I can do to be a part of it or whatever you need from me, I got you, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate
Much
it.
love.
Much love, my boy. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Carter. That was great, man.
That was fun, bro.
Good job, bro. Hey, you gonna make some noise, for real.
That was good. I enjoyed that. I told you I was ready.
What?
I was ready.